Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look here at Keeper. I got a lot of requests on this here recently, and I could totally see why. To kind of see what's going on here and help understand how to identify a breakout, of course, because that's kind of the question, like how could we have forecasted this, but also importantly to understand what to do in these situations when the price does come up like this. All right, is it good to jump right in with the FOMO, or is it best to wait for confirmation? All those are all things we want to go ahead and cover. So again, if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, just love teaching people to trade, I hope you can learn something here today. And obviously, if you want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is the website, and the link in the description below if you want to just kind of learn from my trading academy community and signal group. Got a lot of new members recently based on the fact that they're trying to learn what they can this time of the year, because of the fact that it's going to get better. I mean, we're almost to the bottom. I would say we're very, very close. If not, have already hit it. There's definitely no guarantees there it's going to go lower, but overall, we're looking pretty good. And some of the altcoins are actually taking off now too, which is very, very nice to see. So that being said, that's kind of where we're at here for a general sense of things. So taking a look here at the big picture. First of all, let's actually take a look at the big picture and kind of see where we're at here. So obviously, we're above one of the moving averages. We'll look at that here in a moment. But generally speaking, it's been kind of all over the place for Keeper. And it has a tendency of taking way off really fast. Now today it's up 27%. May not seem like a lot because it's so small and the price is so down so low, but it's doing very well. And here's kind of the main reason why. In fact, let's take a look at this here. Take off these moving averages for the moment so you can kind of see. And what you want to do to be able to identify a breakout like this, for example, is to first of all draw a trend line. So let's go ahead and remove this so you can kind of see. You basically take the most recent highest point and you take it all the way down and you have it touch other places in which the price has actually hit. So you can see here, we came up here, 2 days in a row, tested, rejected, 2 days in a row, tested, rejected. So really in the last 4 or 5 days, we've seen roughly a price action maintaining itself higher than that, okay? Now, if you compare this with Bitcoin, you can kind of see that there's a pretty stark difference where Keeper is not really going much lower, whereas Bitcoin is going tremendously lower. Right? For example, this point right here was like a drop from 30 to 20,000 for Bitcoin. But for Keeper, it only went from 130 to about 100. And granted, that's a very similar percentage, don't get me wrong, but it's not like a dramatic drop that we've seen previously. So we're getting closer to the bottom. And that kind of is a good reaffirmation. So furthermore, once to identify a breakout, the second thing you want to look at is a horizontal pattern as well. In other words, we could see the price action get stopped out 3, almost 4 days, actually probably about almost 5 days of continuation there, where the price action hit this level and get rejected out. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a close approximate there, where the price action could not pass $113. Today, it straight up took off. Okay, so for lack of better terms, if you were watching this yesterday, with the price action kind of getting in this range here, that would be potentially a good consideration to take entry, considering it's retesting this level for a 6th time. But now that it's broken above, just say you saw it where it was like 110, 115, that would have been a good place to get into. I know hindsight's 2020, and you can't, there's no guarantees. It's really easy to identify now what was a good opportunity. But generally speaking, a lot of coins have very similar behavior. There's a descending trend. It's typically followed by a horizontal trend, which we kind of saw here for a little while. And then of course it laid down a little bit, more horizontal, and now it's taken off. But the main reason it's taken off is because it broke past these resistance levels. That's kind of what we're waiting for on Bitcoin too. Like there's a level there between 22 and 24,000. Once it breaks above, it should continue to progress higher and retest its descending trend line. But right now, Keeper has broken through that barrier, you could say, and now it's taking off. All right, so that's, again, something to kind of pay attention to. Let's look at some other stuff here. We're over 50 on the RSI. That's fantastic. We didn't really have a convergence on the MACD, but it's already effectively converged by staying above. The last 4 hours have been pretty strong, actually last 8 hours. We're up over 70 on the RSI, so it does concern me here. In other words, when you come up over 70 on the RSI, there's a strong likelihood of a pullback. In other words, in most cases you see when it comes up to 70, it gets rejected. Now that it broke above, you got to understand this could very well be a point in which the price action could come back down as a support level. Okay, so now that we've broken through that, there's a strong chance we'll see that work as a potential support where the price action could continue higher. I don't love to see that on the 4 hour, I prefer that on the daily, but generally speaking, that's kind of where we're at there. And wow, we could see this massive candle wick that just peaked up here. I think it just tested up 165. Wow, okay, cool. So let's take a look at the 1 hour and kind of see what's going on here. So first of all, with TD sequential, we can see we're at a 9 plus 2. So we're in extreme overtime here at this point. And obviously the price action shouldn't go much higher from here. We should expect the price to go sideways and or down. Okay. So if the price were to come back down, just keep in mind, it'll come back down likely to the lowest point of 113 and bounce. Or you could round up and say 114. Because again, that was a previous resistance level. Now it's established as a support. So that support level will hold. So the price does come back down. I'm not telling you to short down to 114, but if the price comes down to 114, that might be a good entry point. Okay, again, pay attention to Bitcoin and how Bitcoin performs. Bitcoin right now is pretty much going sideways and a lot of coins are taking off. It's just that inevitability of the price action being so low for so long that folks are finally trying to invest and get in. Today being Friday, nice payday for a lot of folks too, just jumping right in as well. Although I'll keep in mind that it's not us affecting the price action as much as the whales, because we don't have this much volume. But it is nice to see this here, and there was probably a short squeeze there too as well that could have occurred, pushing the volume higher. The last thing we want to take a look at is the cloud, which kind of seems redundant at this point because it's obviously so far high above, but generally speaking, it's still telling us to keep our long position open if we have one. I would exercise caution, Joe, and just let you know that the probability of the price action coming down from here is quite high. So what you probably want to do is just set some limit orders. Like you saw how it just wicked up here. If you look at this last 1 minute, that candle wick jumped up to 164, up from 138. It's a pretty significant margin. I mean, what is that percent? It's almost a 20% hike. And that it came up and came back down. But just say you had a limit order for 150 or 160, you would have got filled. That's why you want to set multiple profit targets on your trades. That's what we do as a community, of course. We have usually 5 profit targets, trailing stop loss, and a handful of other things kind of built in to ensure that when you hit your targets and it comes back down, it'll close that trade out for you after you've hit specific targets. So again, just some really cool things to kind of make sure you use, and trading bots do allow for you to do that effectively. So just keep that in mind. You can't just do this on setting up OCO orders per se. It's more difficult and time consuming. So I do recommend trading bots. They're really, really cool. They definitely help make things easier. We have a fully automated system, just one click follow, and you're set and good to go if that's your thing. All right, so anyways, that's kind of where we're at there. Not much else to really note here except for the fact that it's going to probably likely continue higher until it doesn't, which is a funny redundant thing I like to say, but 185 would be the next milestone we want to cross and break above. If we break above 185, then I would say it's definitely on. For now, I would still say it's on. It wouldn't be a terrible idea to add to your position or take a position. Just note that it's overextended. It could likely pull back before it increases. It could also go sideways before it increases, but it does look like it wants to continue to go higher. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more volatility from Keeper this weekend. It would make sense considering the overall circumstances and that Bitcoin's actually looking decent. The fear, uncertainty, and doubt is subsiding a little bit. I think we're still at like 11 or 12, but it's better than a 6 or a 7, right? So, those are little things that are factoring in here. Okay, so a little more consistency with Bitcoin being at its quote-unquote bottom. It's giving us an opportunity here to see a lot of altcoins start to take off. So this is really good news. We like to see this. All right, so I hope you found benefit here, of course. If you did, comment below, like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. But I'd be happy to get to know you better if you want to become a community member. We have roundtable discussions, really awesome experience there where we all kind of learn and grow together. So check that out in your own time. CryptoCache.tech is the site. Link in the description below. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.